According to research conducted by the International Development Organization Aid Data, affiliated with the University of William and Mary, more than half of the loans China has provided to developing countries are not reflected in official government figures. These loans are often not given at the government level, but are provided by China to companies, banks, joint projects, and non-governmental organizations in those countries. As a result, these loans are not accounted for in the country's financial documents, such as balance sheets. According to Aid Data, as a result of these hidden loans, there are over 40 low and middle-income countries in the world that have borrowed more than 10% of their gross national production from China. For countries like Djibouti, Zambia, and Kyrgyzstan, the amount of debt they owe to China is equivalent to less than 20% of their overall national GDP. China has provided loans to various countries, primarily for large-scale infrastructure projects, including the construction of roads, railways, and ports. It also includes mining projects and power infrastructure. Richard Moore, the head of the British intelligence agency MI6, referred to Chinese loans as a web that keeps indebted countries under control. According to him, when these countries are unable to repay China, they are forced to give control of their vital national assets into the hands of China. In this context, Chinese lenders often cite the example of Sri Lanka, which embarked on a major Chinese investment project years ago to build the Hambantota International Port. It is Sri Lanka's second-largest port, after Colombo. In 2020, the port handled 1.8 million tons of cargo. However, after a dispute, this multi-billion-dollar project became burdened with conflicts, and instead of becoming a catalyst for Sri Lanka's economic development, it added to the country's growing debt. Ultimately, in July 2017, Sri Lanka was compelled to hand over 70% of the ownership rights of the port to China's state-owned company, China Merchants, for a period of 99 years. However, China has consistently denied these allegations and has never officially taken control of Sri Lanka's port. It is crucial to note that no research institution has found any example of a Chinese state-owned company seizing major national assets of any country due to failure to repay a loan. China does not publicize the details of the loans it provides to different countries, and most of the contracts with other countries include non-disclosure clauses that prevent borrowing countries from knowing what is included in the agreements. According to experts, the presence of hidden conditions in international loan agreements is common, and when it comes to China's developmental loans, they are generally of a commercial nature. Chinese loans typically have an interest rate of around 4%, and the repayment period is usually shorter, often less than 10 years. In addition, Chinese official banks and other institutions that provide loans include a condition that the borrowing country must maintain a certain amount of money in an offshore account, which can be withdrawn if China is unable to recover the loan. In other words, if a borrowing country fails to repay its debt, China can withdraw money from that account without resorting to legal disputes. In March 2023, a report was published by the World Bank, Harvard Kennedy School, Aid Data, and Kiel Institute for the World Economy Researchers, according to which China spent $240 billion in loans to 22 developing countries from 2008 to 2021. During recent years, there has been a significant increase in payments of loans used for infrastructure projects under the Belt and Road Initiative, causing difficulties for many countries in repaying those loans. The report states that approximately 80% of Belt and Road loans were mainly taken by middle-income countries, including Argentina, Mongolia, and Pakistan. Argentina received the highest amount of $111.8 billion, followed by Pakistan with $48.5 billion, and Egypt with $15.6 billion, while the other 9 countries borrowed less than $1 billion each. The People's Bank of China, PBOC, provided $170 billion in loans for fiscal support, including Suriname, Sri Lanka, and Egypt. Additionally, for debt restructuring or balance of payments support, China's official banks provided $70 billion, and $140 billion for rollover. Argentina is the largest debtor country of the International Monetary Fund, IMF. Particularly, on June 30, 2023, Argentina paid back $2.7 billion of its mandatory repayment to the IMF in Chinese currency, the RMB, renminbi. This is the first time that Argentina made payment in RMB instead of dollars for its foreign loans. The use of RMB has helped Argentina mitigate the risk of default and has also facilitated economic and trade exchanges between Argentina and China. The increasing influence of RMB in Latin America reflects China's significant role in global development and is important for countries cooperating with China.